Good day, everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Naila Khairunnisa, but you can call me Naila. And today we're going to analyze a translation text and examine whether there's a mistake in the text, and we will fix it together. So, without further ado, let's move on.
Okay, so I'm going to provide you the source text first and then the translated version one, which is the target text. So here's the source text first. You can pause to read it. And then this is the translated text, which is the target text. Okay, so we're going to analyze the first paragraph first. So I'm going to read it for you. Rojongonseo Waterfall, which means 1000 waterfall in Japanese language, is one of the most beautiful waterfall in Indonesia. It is located in Tawangmangu area Karanganyar. This waterfall offers spectacular scenery and calming atmosphere. So the first sentence we're going to examine the first sentence first. Grojongonseo Waterfall, which means 1000 waterfall in Japanese language, is one of the most beautiful waterfall in Indonesia. So Grojongonseo Waterfall, which means 1000 waterfall. Here, the word choice of 1000 waterfall sounds a bit awkward because it directly translates the air terjun 1000 as a singular noun, so it sounds awkward. So instead of 1000 waterfall, we're going to change it into 1000 waterfalls, so it can sound much more natural. And then Japanese language, actually there's one word is missing, which is the. So so it's supposed to be in the Japanese language. And also, is one of the most beautiful waterfall in Indonesia is also incorrect. So this is actually a plural sentence. So instead of is one of the most beautiful waterfall, we can change it into is one of the most beautiful waterfalls in Indonesia. Okay, and then the next one, it is located in Tawangmangu area Karanganyar. This waterfall offers spectacular scenery and calming atmosphere. So the first mistake is it is located. So it actually sounds like incomplete and sounds a bit weird when we see the whole sentence structure. So instead of it is located, we're going to change it into located in Tawangmangu area. And then the next mistake I've noticed is this waterfall offer. So in the translated text, it only says this waterfall offer instead of this waterfall offers. So because the waterfall is singular, so we have to change it into this waterfall offers. And then the next mistake is and calming atmosphere. So because again we're talking about a singular noun, which is the waterfall, we have to add one tiny detail, which is the a. So it's supposed to be a calming atmosphere and a calming atmosphere. So here's the full revised of the first paragraph. So we're going to move on to the next paragraph. Okay, and the next paragraph. When you arrive at Grojongonseo Waterfall, you will directly amazed by the overflowing natural beauty. This waterfall has height around 80 meters, and the waterfall strongly making amazing water splash. The roaring sound of falling water and the blowing refreshing wind will give calming experience and spoil your senses. Okay, so again we're going to examine the first sentence, which is when you arrive at Grojongonseo Waterfall, you will directly amazed by the overflowing natural beauty. So you will realize that it sounds a bit unnatural and awkward because you will directly amaze. So instead of using a natural expression like you will directly amaze, we change it to you will be instantly amazed by the overflowing natural beauty. Then the second sentence, this waterfall has height around 80 meters and the water falls strongly, making amazing water splash. Again, it kind of sounds awkward and a bit unnatural. There's also a grammar mistake. in the second sentence. The first one is, this waterfall have height around 80 meters. So, because it's a subject-verb agreement issue, instead of have height around, it should be, this waterfall has a height of around 80 meters. And the next mistake is, and the water falls strongly. So instead of repeating the words waterfall and then waterfall, kind of sounds like people who read this will be like confused. So we're changing it into the water cascades down powerfully. Okay, so the next one is making amazing water splash. So the word choice is kind of questionable in here, so we're going to fix that. And we're going to change making amazing water splash. Instead of making, we change it to creating. So creating an amazing instead of water splash, because water splash kind of like describes a small puddle, in, when this waterfall is like 80 meters tall. So instead water splash, we change it into spray. And the next sentence is, the roaring sound of falling water and the blowing refreshing wind will give calming experience and spoil your senses. So the first mistake that I noticed is the roaring sounds of falling. So it missing the article. So it should be the roaring sound of the falling water. So the roaring sound of the falling water. And the next is refreshing wind. So the word choice here is also kind of a bit weird. So wind sounds too harsh and stormy for relaxing tourists when they came to the place. So instead of wind, we changed it to breeze instead, because it captures like the gentle wind of the waterfall, of the atmosphere. The next one is, will give calming experience. So it's missing articles to sound natural. So instead of give calming, it should be give you. And instead of using calming, I think we better change it into soothing. So will give you soothing experience and spoil your senses. Here's the full revise of the second paragraph. So we finally reached the third paragraph, which is the last paragraph. I'm going to read it first. Besides the beauty of the waterfall itself, around Grojongan Sewu waterfall, also there are green and fertile tropical forests. You can explore the available hiking tracks for enjoy the beauty of surrounding nature and see unique flora and fauna. Don't forget for bring camera, because you will find many scenery which worthy to be captured. Opening hours 8 o'clock until 16 o'clock. Address Jalan Raya Tawangmangu, Beji, Tawangmangu District. Okay, I think from reading that paragraph itself, I think you might notice there are some grammar mistakes. So we're going to fix that too. So the first sentence, which is besides the beauty of waterfall itself, around Grojongan Sewu waterfall, also there are green and fertile tropical forests. So the around Grojongan Sewu waterfall, also there are green, sounds awkward, right? And it doesn't follow the sentence structure that is implied in English. So we're going to change that into, there is also a lush green tropical forest surrounding Grojongan Sewu waterfall. And so instead of green and fertile, we change it to lush instead, because it sounds natural and easy to read. Okay, and then the second sentence, which is, you can explore the available hiking tracks for enjoy the beauty of surrounding nature and see unique flora and fauna. So I would change the hiking tracks into hiking trails, because the word trails is the standard and natural terminology used in tourism instead of tracks. And also for enjoy. So that sounds a little bit too literal. So instead of for enjoy, we change it into to enjoy. This is to follow the standard infinitive verbs, which is to plus verb. Then the next sentence, which is don't forget to bring camera because you will find many scenery which worthy to be captured. So from the first time I read it, it sounds weird, right? There's like a grammar mistake. So for bring camera. So instead of for bring camera, like I just said from the previous sentence, instead of for, we change it into to. So don't forget to bring a camera, and it also the article, which is don't forget to bring a camera. And then the next mistake is because you will find many scenery which worthy to be captured. So it also sounds awkward and unnatural, and we will change the sentence structure into you will find many scenes worthy of being captured. So instead of using scenery, we changed it to scenes instead, because scenery is an uncountable noun. So you cannot say many scenery. So we changed it to many scenes worthy of being captured. And then opening hours 8 o'clock until 16 o'clock, address Jalan Raya Tawangmangu BJ, Tawangmangu District. Okay, so here's the full revised text from first paragraph until third paragraph, until the address. You can see and you can read it.
Okay, so that is all from me, and I'm sorry if my explanation is a bit unclear, but I hope from this video you can learn how to translate your text a bit better. So I'm Naila and I'm signing out. Bye bye.